I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents by the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dream.
Commissioners Court of Brazos County will meet in regular session on December the 10th, 2024, at 10 a.m. Commissioners Courtroom, Brazos County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106. First item on the agenda is invocation, pledge of allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flag, and I'll lead those. Father, I want to thank you again for your love and your mercy. I want to thank you, Father, for the grace that you bestowed upon us. Father, I want to thank you for our country, for the freedoms that we have here, and for the Constitution that we still is the best Constitution of any country. Father, I pray that you will give us wisdom this morning as we make decisions for the county. I ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Second item on the agenda is call for citizens' input and or concerns, and we've got some. Daniel Ray.
Howdy, good morning. My name is Danny Ray. I am Associate Professor of Practice at Texas A&M in the Engineering College, as well as a resident of Green Branch Ridge. I received a postcard, like some of y'all did in this room a couple months ago, around the East Loop, and I thought to myself, that's pretty interesting. Looking at it objectively, I don't see how this will help with congestion. But perhaps there's data that exists that I wasn't privy to. So kind of looked at what was available in the public domain around what specific data tells us that this East Loop is a good idea, will actually alleviate traffic. Well, you see kind of generic data that talks about the growth of Brazos County and all that, but nothing that says specifically that this loop would address traffic concerns. It didn't seem to make a lot of sense. So if you look at it objectively, backing up, we teach, hey, begin with the end in mind as far as problem solving. Problems exist on Highway 6, typically around university events, or perhaps the little rush hour we have now, it seems like, around 5 o'clock. Well, at university events, people are coming to and from Houston, DFW, and Austin. Well, this road, of course, would do nothing for that. You look at the little rush hour we have, and it's, again, traffic going to and from the college, up and down 6. This road, once again, does not seem on the surface to do anything for that. So this is what I tell my students. In God we trust. Everyone else bring data. We want to make data-driven decisions. And while on the surface, to me, it seems like widening 6 to the maximum capacity possible, service roads, overpasses, turn lanes, etc., make a lot of sense. I know there's some works there, but not exactly sure how that would obviate the need for something like this. Or, perhaps that west bypass, the 2818 down to Harvey Mitchell, finishing that to me would be a lot less disruptive than the East Loop, and would also serve not only rush hour, but would actually serve the game day and graduation traffic going to and from Houston, DFW, and Austin. So I would humbly implore the team here to ask for that specific data. When I was leading business, I led a $1 billion group, and I would always be approached with good ideas. And the good ideas, I would say, hey, that's great. Let's do the research to ensure this good idea actually will result in what we want it to result. Will this road actually deliver what we want it to deliver? I'd ask this team to consider specific, unbiased data that says this is the best option for public money, as opposed to widening 6 or finishing that west bypass, so that we can make a good data-driven decision on behalf of the county. Because as proposed, this to me does not make sense. Thank y'all.
Okay, thank you. Alan Hamack.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'd like to thank y'all for let me take up your time a little bit. My subject is about this proposed east loop that Daniel talked about. And one reason is why do we need this? Like he said, and I agree with him, it's supposed to alleviate the traffic, especially on game days. Well, I don't see how that's possible. And also, my concern about it, if it does go through, I have neighbors that have been there for a long time, and that's their lifelong property, and it'll be disrupting their lives. And also, on my account, if they use the furthest east loop, it's going to be about 150 yards from my gate. And so I'll be hearing the traffic and everything. And I'm just totally against it. And also, you know, talking about how will it alleviate the problems on Highway 6. And I look at it this way. Why would I want to go 20 miles just to get 10 miles down the road? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kimberly Gallen?
I moved here in 2022 to be closer to two of my children and my grandchildren, and at the time I really didn't do a lot of study on the city. I just knew that Bryan was a lot less congested and I wanted to be close to my children. So I built a home at the very rear of Austin's Colony, which basically I back up about a mile away from Medina Hoff. And one of my daughters lives 5 minutes away, and they built their forever home about 5 years ago with their 4 daughters. And according to one of these proposals for the East Loop, it will go directly behind their property like 100 feet from their backyard, which would greatly reduce the freedom and the enjoyment that they have of their property and their kids to roam and explore the country, do things that kids like to do. I've also noticed that from my house, in the morning, I'm usually woken by, I guess, what's called highway traffic, even though I'm quite, 3 or 4 miles from Highway 6. So assuming that there would be a loop that would be within a mile from my home or backyard, I'm sure that would be very inconvenient. I also don't see any way this would reduce traffic. I drive from my home in Bryan over to 2818 at least once a week. I always take Villa Maria. When there's traffic, I just plan to leave 5 minutes earlier. I've done the route where it's proposed that this loop would go, and there's no way I would ever take the loop and drive that many extra miles. It just wouldn't be worth it to me. So I would like to basically say on my behalf and on my family members' behalf that we don't approve of this, and I actually haven't talked to anyone who sees that the routes would really do anything to reduce the traffic. I would much rather see the investment put into Highway 6. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's the last one on citizen input. We'll move to number 3 and we'll consider and take action on agenda items 3 through 29. Number 3 is authorization of the county judge to execute settlement participation release forms regarding a settlement with the matter of Texas opioid multi-district litigation for the county in the matter of Brazos, County of Brazos versus Purdue Pharma LP et al.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 4 is approval of the following appointments to Brazos County Historical Commission. Term of appointment is January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
Move approval A through M.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Yeah, I think it's a great group of people. I'm glad that they're serving.
Absolutely, and thank you for all that you do.
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 5 is approval of the following reappointments to the Brazos County Emergency Services District, ESD number 1. Term of appointment is January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
I move approval.
So
Yeah, there was some concern that was expressed, Judge, that the dates were not correct for a 2-year term. They're correct for a 2-year term.
No, they're correct. No, I would like to give the incoming commissioner in January 1 the opportunity to have some discussion and input on who the ESD1
That's
nomination.
fine. I will say this, that sat down with the incoming commissioner. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. Sat down with the incoming commissioner, had breakfast with Doug Bramwell, who's the chairman of the ESD board, and there was no expression of concern as far as that goes. But if you want to object to this, and that's fine.
Okay. Well, I still think it would be, since your term will be ending in the next 3 weeks, I'd like to give the incoming commissioner the opportunity to have some of the, participate in that discussion.
Yeah, well, that will, he has, but not formally in this body, but Judge, if that's your discretion, we'll put it to vote.
Okay. So there was a motion, and I guess we'll need a second to decide whether we're going to approve or disapprove. So could I get a second?
Motion dies for lack of second.
Okay, motion dies.
Been here before.
Okay.
Yeah, and, yeah, we made reappointments for, I'd just like to point out an irregularity here. We made a reappointment for Precinct 3 to replace Doug Whedon last week. So I don't understand why there's an exception being taken here, but let me just state that for the record. Because there was a reappointment, if you'll go back and look at your agenda for last week, for Precinct 3, and the Precinct 3 commissioner is also going out of office and will be replaced. This was not brought up.
That was to serve an unexpired term from a ESD board member who resigned, which would have meant that board only had 4 members, and so all that did was to appoint that person for the remainder of that term. That's different than appointing someone to a 2-year term.
Just a point of fact, the ESD 3 overlaps with Precinct 3 and Precinct 2 county commissioners.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of ESD 3 is actually in Commissioner Precinct 2.
That's
That's primarily my precinct.
as you wish.
Okay, so it failed for lack of a second. Number 6 is approval of the reappointment of the Brazos County Emergency Services District, DSD. The term of appointment is January 1, 2025, December 31, 2026.
Move for approval A and B.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 7 is consider and take action on the following donation request by Thane McDougal, Brazos County Chairman, Alamo Letter Society.
Move approval A through C.
Second?
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 8 is approval of official public bonds. I think we have, yes, Kathy Beans.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Usually there's a hyperlink for some of this information. Can you give us some details and an explanation of why we can't see what these official public bonds that are being approved are?
Okay, so they are the newly elected, here's what I have is District Attorney Jarvis Parsons, Commissioner Precinct 1 Bentley Nettles, and County Attorney Earl Gray. And it is, we'll have to have the rest of them, but apparently they have not been provided. Each elected official has to have a bond in place before they can be sworn in January the 1st, and so that's what this is to put those bonds in place and then recognize that they're in place.
Okay, so that's a bond that covers their official duties, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's
Okay.
state law, they're required.
Okay, thank you.
It's a $3,000 bond
Per person.
per person.
And just to follow up, Judge, these come from the county clerk's office, Ms. McQueen, and when she gets the remaining bonds, like you said, they'll be posted on the next one. But the ones that she posted for today were the ones that she'd already received.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion and a second?
Yeah.
Okay, we need a motion and a second to accept those.
Well, I think we have a motion and a second. We just need to vote.
Second.
So now do you have somebody for a motion as?
Nancy motioned ABC.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 9 is
Sorry. Yeah.
Number 9 is request authorization for a wire transfer of $1,244,738.03 to HHSC for the federal fiscal year FFY 2023 Hospital Augmented Reimbursement Program, HARP. Retroactive payment for benefits participating in hospitals using funding for Brazos County Local Provider Participation Fund.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 10 is request authorization for a wire transfer of $20,437.95 to HHSC for the uncompensated care demonstration year 9 redistribution payment for the benefit of participating hospitals using funding from the Brazos County Local Provider Participation Fund.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 11 is approval of the City of Bryan Public Utility Easement for a water meter at Medical Examiner's Office, sites 3037 East 29th Street, sites located in Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 12 is approval of change order number 1, CIP 23-608, INGN Road Reconstruction with Larry Young Paving for additional days and labor in the amount of $1,494, increasing the total project to $5,905,937.25.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion.
I'm just glad that we are finally done. If you haven't been out and taken a ride on the new and improved INGN, I would invite you to do so.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 13 is approval of amendment number 2 to contract 24-603 construction manager of risk at Medical Examiner's Facility with J.T. Vaughn Construction for guaranteed maximum price number 2 of $25,961,965. This is the final GMP package, making the total contracted amount of J.T. Vaughn Construction at $33,865,513 for this project.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 14 is approval of the following deductive change order to CIP 24-614 bridge scour repair with solid bridge construction, decreasing the total amount of the contract to $1,677,208.90.
Move approval A through E.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 15 is approval of agreement 25-085 post-residential services with Harris County for juvenile.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 16 is permission to advertise CIP 25-529 architect for Ashford Hills Warehouse Office Suites.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 17 is approval of the following committee RFQ CIP 25-560 architect for 101 North Texas Avenue.
Move approval A through G.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 18 is permission to advertise CIP 25-562 construction manager at risk for Ashford Hills Warehouse and Office Suites.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is approval of the following committee for RFQ CIP 25-563 Construction Manager at Risk for 101 North Texas Avenue.
Move approval A through G.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 20 is approval of engineering services proposal with Goodwin Laster for the following county roads.
Move for approval A through C.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 21 is consider and take action to close, vacate, or abandon a portion of Breckenridge Street 100-foot right-of-way located between Block 10 and Block 25 in the town of Milliken. A roadway was never built and there was no public interest served by retaining the original right-of-way. Site's located in Precinct 1.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 22 is approval of final plat 711 Ranch Phase 1, lots 42B1, 42B2, and 42B3, being a replat of lot 42B, 5.01 acres, Andrew Milliken Survey, A-39, Brazos County, Texas, sites located in Precinct 1.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 23 is approval of expenditure journal for Brazos County FY 24-25, September 2024 to November 2024, cash contributions, $44,946.19 to CSCD Specialty Court Program.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 24 is Commissioners Court minutes for the following dates.
Move approval A through F
Second.
with our thanks to them for doing such a good job all the time.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 25 is budget amendments, FY 24-25 budget amendments 10.01 through 10.03.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 26 is approval of personnel change of status.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 27 is payment of claims. Approval of payment of claims 8206767 through 8206876, and B is 9202988 through 9203045.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. We will skip down to number 30, an acknowledgement of the investment report for the quarter ending 9/30/2024. And number 31 is acknowledgement of the 2024-25 budget to actuals by fund as of December the 4th, 2024, and an acknowledgement of the 2024-25 contingency budget to actuals by fund as of December the 4th, 2024. And number 32 is juvenile director's report for detention population, and Linda's not here. I should have that in my notes. There were in juvenile there were 31, 22 males and 9 females, and then 42 juveniles on electronic monitors. And next is the sheriff's report on inmate population. Chief.
Hey, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. This morning, our population is 738. We have 613 males, 125 females, and 31 on electronic monitors.
Okay, thank you. 34 is announcement of interest items and possible future agenda topics.
Judge, we mentioned the Greenville officer that was killed recently, Greenville, Texas, right down the road in Terrell, Texas. They lost another officer a few days ago, Jacob Candenoza. If we could all just keep that community in prayer and just do all we can to encourage people to understand the important work our police, fire, first responders, soldiers do, and support them as best we can, especially during these very horrible times where we're losing them.
And I'd like to speak about, I brought it up last Tuesday about Southgate. And so that is actually in my precinct, and I have gone over there, and I know that there has been a great community outcry about, because it's located in College Station. Excuse me, the assumption is that the city of College Station controls that. That is a privately owned property that has, is in the process of trying to fix the problems. As you know, they had a gas leak, and the way the facility, it was built in 1972, the construction is such that it's not where they can shut down one unit, one section, you know, like a 4-apartment section, and shut down the next section. The water system is one huge system, so when they need to fix the water, they have to turn the water off to the whole complex. I will say to you that it is deplorable. What I saw the day after I brought it up was deplorable in terms of the conditions in which those folks are having to live. They are doing some remodeling, but you're talking about the least of us, you know, people who are using housing assistance, and they're a little concerned about publicly, like you all come to court and you identify yourself to have your say, make your complaints or express your concerns. A lot of the residents are a little bit uncomfortable with saying too much publicly and attaching their name to it, because it's the only place they can afford to live, so therefore they're concerned about being evicted. But I will say to you that the circumstances over there are deplorable, that they're having to live in that. When I got there, I noted that they had porta potties, so people were having to use porta potties. They have to try to find somewhere to go and take showers. The part that the city of College Station does is, as they are making the repairs, as you understand with code requirements, that the code says that as they repair a section of the gas line or they repair a section of the water line, they do have city inspectors on standby so that they don't have to wait multiple days to come in and look at what repairs have been done. Sometimes the repairs, according to the mayor when I talked to him, they have failed some sections of the repair. So the making repairs and doing renovations where these people have no alternative places to go unless they have family members or friends who can allow them to come and take showers. How do they feed their children? There have been a lot of donations, including myself, of heaters. Think about how cold it's been, how cold it's going to be. Those circumstances, I noted also Habitat for Humanity, thank you very much, was over there, I think on Saturday, donating heaters. The situation at Southgate has been deplorable for those who, again, are on housing assistance. So through your community, through your personal choices, if you're willing to go over and help out, make donations. There was a gentleman there from a church who was taking people 3 at a time. Harvey Wallbanger had donated the use of their laundromat. Lincoln Center lets them take showers, but the window is so small, so they're closed by the time, you know, most of us used to bathe our babies at night and get them ready for school for the next morning if you didn't want them going out in the cold. But anyway, Southgate, what we saw was deplorable. City of College Station had broke down trash trucks, so the trash bins were overflowing. While we were there, the city of Bryan had loaned them a truck to empty the dumpsters. I just say we need to pray for them, donate if you can, volunteer if you can. But the situation, it's improving slowly. But think about it, this started before Thanksgiving. There have been different organizations over who provide breakfast. Thanksgiving Day, a gentleman was there doing a big barbecue for hamburgers and hot dogs. But think about where you were on Thanksgiving Day, if you were with your family in a warm house, what that must have been like for you. These folks don't have that option. So again, I am very concerned, but it is, as I've been told and I'm aware of, it is a privately owned facility that the city of College Station has to allow them to make the repairs, and all that the city of College Station can do is make the inspections to make sure that the repairs are done up to code, but it still impacts these folks' day-to-day lives. You have families with multiple children all the way to senior citizens who live in that complex. So I'm just sort of ringing the alarm bell to say we need to be more aware of what is happening in our community, because the issue of affordable housing in Brazos County is as bad as you can imagine. It is difficult for people who can't afford a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, or even $1,000 mortgage or $1,000 apartment rent. There are not, as you all know, the cost of living in Brazos County has gone up. They can't find housing like that is livable. So again, I express my concern. I've been over there. I am just like the city of College Station. I am somewhat limited in what I can do. I can only do what I can do as a from a private citizen perspective. But again, be aware that and this is not the only situation where you find deplorable living conditions in Brazos County. There are a number of apartment owners, landlords who don't take care of their properties or allow them to lapse into outdated resources or infrastructure. And so just be aware that that is what is happening in Brazos County. It is what is happening over at Southgate, which is located in College Station. And like I said, these people are very concerned, but they are afraid to publicly put their name, speak out and say, Wanda Watson lives in Southgate, here are what my concerns are, because they know that there's a possibility that they could be evicted and there's not anywhere else for them to go.
That's a
Is the
Section
owner
8
doing the
property.
work?
They're doing the work, it's just that they chose to do it in the middle of winter. The infrastructure is so bad that it is just creating an unlivable situation, or a difficult livable situation, because of the way the structure is made and how long it's going to take to make the repairs.
If I understand, that's a Section 8 property. And
That's what I was saying.
Under a Section 8, if under a Section 8 property, in order for the investors to be able to accrue the benefits of the tax credits that are involved in a Section 8 property and owning that, there are requirements that the federal government places on them in order to operate as a Section 8 property. Has anybody checked into that?
That is correct, and they're making the repairs, but it is still creating a deplorable living condition. The fact that it is that bad, because when they had the gas leak, they now have to put in new gas meters up to code, for every single unit. You have 200 units that are in that complex. And so, yes, it is, they're making the repairs, and it takes time, but it has created a deplorable living condition for those folks.
My assumption would be that there would be more federal government teeth involved in that, since it is a Section 8 property, which my suggestion would be is to check those routes as well.
Right, and that has been done. It is being done. But it finally took the community outcry.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Is there any other announcement other than the Commissioners Court will be canceled the week of December the 23rd through the 27th, 2024, in observance of the Christmas holidays? The next regular meeting for the Commissioners Court will be Tuesday, December 31st, 2024.
We'll be meeting next week, though.
Yes. Is it next week? I think.
Yeah, we meet next week and then not the following week.
Okay. Any other announcement? We'll move back up to number 28, convening executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 to consult with an attorney about pending or contemplated litigation and/or settlement offer. And B is Texas Government Code 551.074 to discuss the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties of county personnel. So the first one will, of course, need Cheryl and Commissioners Court, attorneys, chief staff. Is that pretty much it?
Yes, sir.
And that's probably the same, maybe HR with the second one, but we'll catch A first. And the time is 10:35.
Ina for the second one. Ina for the second one.
I still didn't understand.
Nina.
Oh, Nina, okay, yeah, and the second one, we do it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're coming out of executive session, and there is action to be taken.
We
They
request,
haven't resumed, has it resumed yet?
yeah,
Okay.
request from Commissioners Court for the following personnel changes with effective date as of January 4th, 2025. The following changes have no impact on the Commissioners Court FY 2025 budget. A, decrease B 0116-1 Administrative Assistant, Commissioners Court, Group 24, Step 7 to Group 19, Step 13, hourly full-time, and B, increase B 0117-1 Receptionist, Commissioners Court, Group 13, Step 2 to Group 13, Step 8, hourly full-time.
That's a motion.
Yes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure that we don't have since this was not an agenda item and it did come out of executive session, I wanted to make sure that we qualified legally based on 72-hour notification of an agenda item.
Actually, we probably do not.
Well, it
So we
says
might-
considering possible action.
Action.
From executive session is what, 29, that's what we're in right now.
Okay, the only thing, I just want, I'm
So
asking.
will it be
I'm
added-
asking because I want to make sure that we're not violating the Open Meetings Act here. I don't want to be a party to violating the Open Meetings Act. And what I'm saying is typically this motion that's made like this, that we see them on a normal basis come up and they are on the agenda for 72-hour notification. This does not qualify for that, even though it's coming out of executive session. So I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to be a party to on the last couple of weeks. I'm going to be a commissioner. I'm not going to appear on the paper in the paper on the front page for violating the Open Meetings Act. I'm just not going there.
Well, we discussed this in executive session, and it was posted for executive session, so, and posted for action, so I think we're okay.
In my opinion, we're okay, Commissioner.
Okay, I'm going to abstain from voting on this because I have those concerns, and I've expressed what those concerns are. So, from my perspective, I'm on the record. I'm good.
Okay.
Will
And
it
I-
not,
Oh, sorry, and I will provide backup like I normally do on these agenda items to Aubrey and the team, so she has it for the
Well,
court documentations.
The concern that I have is on a personnel item that is typically on an agenda, 72 hours notice in advance, you could potentially violate the Open Meetings Act by using and not have 72 hours notice on an agenda item by handling those things in executive session. Correct?
I am not legal, but I'll leave that to legal.
Like we said, because the agenda lists possible action coming out of executive session on a personnel matter, and we're not changing the total budget in the process, I don't believe we are violating the Open Meetings Act.
Okay, well, the way that they're, okay, I'm going to abstain from voting on this one.
Okay.
so we don't need to put it on the agenda for next week? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I see long precedents with both cities posting possible action during executive, coming out and voting on it. So I'm, with general counsel's weighing in and with that precedent set by the two of our 4 municipalities in the county, I have no problem voting on this.
No, okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
All right.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion.
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstention?
I abstain.
Okay, one abstention. Motion passes. Next item is to adjourn.